I know it's a very long video. Uh, I am gonna try and cut this short as much as I can. I swear, I swear. Hi guys, I am Akansha Sahgal and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I try and talk about everything that I love, be it books, travel, beauty, and a lot more. But above all that, I am here trying to create a better emotional and mental life for myself and in the process help you do the same. So, if you are up for this journey, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And I am promising you this time that I am not gonna ghost you for months after posting this video because I have already scheduled the next video as well. So, this time I promise I'm gonna try and stay consistent and get those videos out as much as I can. So in today's video, I am actually gonna talk about books again. I mean, why not? Why not? So I actually got a mystery box from kitabe.com, which is an online book thrift store based out of India, and I got a 30 book mystery box. So you can actually select the size of the box. They have 3 sizes available, and you can also select the genres of the books. So I basically selected murder/thriller because that is my go-to genre, my comfort genre. Then I selected romance and also women fiction. Now, the reason why I go for mystery boxes these days is because there is this element of surprise, and I come across a lot of different authors that I may not have picked otherwise, or intentionally gone and searched for. But because of that, I actually come across really good titles and authors. For example, I read I Am Missing by Tim Weaver, and it is an amazing book. So if you're a thriller enthusiast, I definitely recommend reading that book. But that I might have not picked up intentionally or during my search, but yes, through a mystery box I came across that, and I aim to read more of Tim Weaver's works, which is a good thing for me. So that is why I got another mystery box, which is here with me. Let me show you. So I am just gonna go through the summary and see what all we have got, because I'm really excited to go through these books, get to know the authors and the titles that we have got. So if you have actually read any of these, do let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear your feedbacks, your inputs, and that might also help me prioritize which book to read from this lot. And yes, since we have 30 books to go through, it's any which way is gonna be a long video. So you can pause it right now, grab your favorite drink that you want, make yourself comfortable, and then join me back to go through all these books. So I hope now you have got your choice of drink and you're sitting comfortably, because it's gonna be a long ride. And now I'm gonna shut my mouth, and without any further ado, let's just get into the video. Now we are gonna go through the books, and I'm gonna randomly pick up these books because I have actually not sorted these books at all. We are gonna go through the summaries. I have my laptop open here so that we can just go through the reviews as well, and I can better analyze the books. And obviously your feedbacks matter. So the very first book that I have is Abandoned Child by Kitty Neal, and it is the Sunday Times bestseller. And the tagline says, all she wanted was a mother's love. So the summary goes like this. So it has certain titles, and then so I'm just gonna go through this. It says, despised, Penny's childhood was spent in the shadow of her mother's business schemes, feeling alone and unimportant. It fell to Lorna, her mother's acquaintance, to take care of the lonely little girl, but the rejection always cut deep. Determined, when Penny turned 16 and tragedy strikes, Lorna's cousin, Maureen, a feisty ex-stripper from London, strides into her life. Penny determines to make her own way in the world, and with Maureen beside her, throws herself into a thrilling new life on the grimy streets of Soho. Danger. In this seedy world of dancing girls and gangsters, Penny must grow up quickly, she must be brave, and she's forced to face the truth about some very dark secrets from her past. I mean, obviously, so clearly it's a women fiction book. It's from that particular thing, and we have a content guide here which says friendship, drama, love, and tearjerker. So I have actually not read many women fiction book till date. So currently I'm reading The Sunshine Sisters, which is a women fiction sort of. It has family dynamics involved, so I'm reading that, and definitely I want to read more of women fiction. Also, this has a 4.1 star Goodreads rating, so I'm really looking forward to it. And now I'm also segmenting the books based on the genres. The next book that we have is from Richard Osman, The Bullet That Missed. So I have actually heard a lot of good things about this author, and I haven't read any of his works, but I'm excited to read this one. It is an ordinary Thursday and things should finally be returning to normal, except trouble is never far away where the Thursday murder club is concerned. A decade-old case leads them to a local news legend and a murder with nobody and no answers. Then a new foe pays Elizabeth a visit. Her mission? Kill or be killed? Can the gang solve the mystery and save Elizabeth before the murder strikes again? I think we are going to find that out. It's a part of a series. We have these two books here. So I'm not sure if it's a standalone. I think it's going to be a standalone with, just some obviously references from the previous book. Let me just check. And damn, it has a 4.6 star rating on Goodreads. I am really excited to read this one. And honestly, thriller is something like, if I'm in a reading slump, I pick up a thriller book and it works wonders for me. So I'm really excited about this. I'm surely gonna pick this one, I feel. Then the next book that we have is The Little Venice Bookshop by Rebecca Resin, and the cover is so pretty. Look at this and look at the back. It's such a pretty book, and look at the spine. So the synopsis goes like: a bundle of mysterious letters, a trip to Venice, a journey she'll never forget. When Luna loses her beloved mother, she's bereft. Her mother was her only family, and without her, Luna feels rootless. Then the chance discovery of a collection of letters in her mother's belongings sends her on an unexpected journey. Following a clue in the letters, Luna packs her bags and heads to Venice, to a gorgeous but faded bookshop overlooking the canals, hoping to uncover the truth about her mother's mysterious past. Will Luna find the answers she's looking for and finally find the place she belongs? So it has a 3.9 star rating. I don't know if I should go through the ratings because it might demotivate me to a certain extent. And any which ways, after reading the synopsis, I am a little dicey about this book. Like, it has not I'm not sure, but we'll definitely give it a try. We like to try things, and it's a mystery book again. Moving on, so the next one that we have is by Peter Robinson, which is Aftermath. So the synopsis goes by: he felt depressed. The elation he had expected to feel on finding the killer somehow eluded him. He had no sense of an ending, of an evil purged. In some odd way, he felt the evil was just beginning. Number 35, The Hill is an ordinary house in an ordinary street, but it is about to become infamous. When two police constables are sent to the house following a report of a domestic disturbance, they stumble upon a truly horrific scene. A scene which leaves one of them dead and the other fighting for her life and career. The identity of a serial killer, the chameleon, has finally been revealed, but his capture is only the beginning of a shocking investigation that will test Inspector Alan Banks to the absolute limit. The Guardian says that it demonstrates how the crime novel, when done right, can reach paths that other books can't, a considerable achievement. Time Out says a taut thriller with more twists than the leads to Ghoul Highway. A guaranteed page turner is what Mirror says. So I am actually excited to read this. The synopsis actually hooked me and I'm curious to explore this book more. It's a thick book with small font size, the traditional one, but I'm really curious to read this one. And quickly, the Goodreads rating, and it has a 4.1 star Goodreads rating, so yep, but I have more expectations than 4.1. I personally have more expectations, so let's see. Another thick book, we have The Passage of Love by Alex Miller. Robert Crofts, a young Englishman, arrives in Australia in the 1950s, determined to inhabit the outback. After 5 years of life on the land, he makes his way to Melbourne, where, living in a boarding house, working as a cleaner, he finds himself consumed by a burning need to read, write, draw, create. When he meets the enigmatic Lena, she instantly becomes his staunchest champion, but as their tortured marriage evolves and gradually erodes, she ultimately becomes an obstacle. This intensely autobiographical novel has much to say about the compulsion to create and the fundamental unknowability of even our most intimate partners. As the reader sinks into the text of this singular book, the artifice of fiction gradually melts away, leaving nothing but truth on the page. In The Passage of Love, Alex Miller has given us a masterful work which will come to define his career as one of the great writers of our time. So Irish Times says Miller's writing has the muscularity of decades on craft, spare and unsentimental, probing the sinews of marriage, delineating the arc of love affairs, of struggle and disappointment. And the Australian says it's a near masterpiece of autobiographical fiction. Again, I'm really excited to read this because for me, the goal is to read more of autobiographies, biographies, and this is like autobiographical fiction. So I am excited to read this. I don't think that I have read something from this sort of genre, so I am excited about this. And again, this one also has a 4.1 star Goodreads rating, so let's see. We have the first book in the love genre. I think we are doing a lot of mystery thriller. Again, I was picking up that book, like by the cover I could sense that, but yeah. The next book is A Home from Home by Veronica Henry. We all need somewhere we belong. That is what it says, and I feel that's so true. That's really so true. I just don't like these stickers on the books. That's the only problem that I have with these things. Sunshine, Cider and Family Secrets. Dragonfly Farm has been a home and haven for generations of Melchiors. Rivals to the Culbones, the family who live on the other side of the river. Life there is dictated by the seasons and cider making, and everyone falls under its spell. For cousins Tabitha and Georgia, it has always been a home from home. When a tragedy befalls their beloved great uncle Matthew, it seems the place where they've always belonged might not be theirs. But the will reveals that a third of the farm has also been left to a Colborne. Gabriel has no idea why he's been included or what his connection to the farm or the Melchiors can be. As the first apples start to fall, will Dragonfly Farm begin to give up its secrets? And we have a family tree here. So this for sure has gonna have a lot of characters, you know. I usually get confused when, you know, these are these traditional settings and we have these old family farms. And it has a 4.3 star Goodreads rating. I'll also like to check like exactly which category it falls in. So as per Goodreads, it has genres linked to romance, chick lit, fiction, contemporary, British literature, women's fiction, contemporary romance. We are going to put it into women plus romance. So the next book that we have is Polly's Angel by Katie Flynn. Polly's guardian angel has to work overtime when her large family is forced to move from the countryside they love into central Liverpool. Money is desperately short, and with her mother working and her father sick, Polly is easily led astray by a new pal, the handsome, idle Sonny Anderson. But soon war looms and Sonny joins the navy to train as a signaller. After the horrors of the May Blitz, Polly too decides she wants to help her country and goes into the WRNS. She hears that an old friend, Tad Donagh, from the Dublin slums, is now in the Royal Air Force. Tad hopes to be reunited with his Polly, but she is in love with Sonny, isn't she? Again, it's a Sunday Times bestseller and it has a 4.3 star rating on Goodreads. But I am not sure about this book, honestly. Putting it in the romance section, obviously it can be a women sort of thing, but I am not sure. Like, these sort of books, they do not hold my interest for long. That is just like for me, but maybe this book changes that. Maybe, you know. So yeah, the next book is this A Hopeless Romantic by Hamid Evans. I'm sorry, I couldn't read it in one go. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but the cover is really pretty and it is this embossed cover. Let's get to the synopsis. Have you ever fallen for the wrong man over and over again, but do you still believe in fairy tale endings? I think these questions resonate with a lot of us. Then you must be a hopeless romantic just like me. I'm not saying that it's written here, okay? I've just had my heart broken again, and so have taken some time out on a family holiday to Norfolk. Possibly not the greatest idea in the world. Anyway, I had made the decision to remove my rose-tinted glasses and swear off all men and everything romantic, including my beloved Doris Day box set and Georgette Hare novels, for good. Then I met sexy and mysterious Nick, the manager of stately home Chartley Hall, and suddenly found myself falling for him, even though he's got a murky secret or two in his closet. But do I want to open my heart for it to only be broken again? Or it ruined my flow. Or could Nick really be the one? You'll have to read on to find out. Love, Laura. I am honestly excited to read this one, and surprisingly this box has almost all the books which are like this thick. Still, I am excited to read, going in the romance pile, checking the ratings, but I am excited to read this one. And guys, it's Harriet Evans. So sorry about that blunder. So sorry. I mean, it looks like M, no? It does. It does. It has a 3.8 star rating. I'm not gonna check the ratings now. I'm not gonna. It happened twice now. No. We are not checking the ratings now. The next book that I have is by Andy McNabb, and it's the Dark Winter. It's the winter season. I think we have a read. So the synopsis goes like, when Maverick agent Nick Stone is dispatched to Malaysia by the CIA to assassinate a shadowy biochemist, he expects his mission to be a straightforward part of the fight against Osama bin Laden's network of terror. But there are complications, not least the attractive woman who he is working alongside. Target neutralized, Stone returns to the USA and a maelstrom of personal problems. Kelly, the 14-year-old orphan to whom he is joint guardian, cannot escape the ghosts of her traumatic past. She has a prescription drug habit that's spiraling out of control, and Stone knows he is the only one who can help her. He takes her to recuperate in England, but the terrible consequences of what happened in Penang are never far behind. Before very long, the conspiracy he has uncovered unravels to reveal a doomsday threat against the populations of New York, London, and Berlin. And Stone finds himself facing the ultimate trade-off, the life of someone he loves against those of millions he doesn't even know. So I am excited to actually read this one. I think I've said this for all the books. Moving forward, we have Liverpool Gems by Anne Barker. Twin sisters chase their dreams. So the synopsis goes by, it is 1935, and as Carrie Courtney watches her twin sister Connie marry the man of her dreams, Carrie longs to find a love of her own. Having lost their mother at an early age, the girls were brought up by their maiden aunts, and with Connie leaving home, Carrie is desperate to spread her wings. Using her skills as a bookkeeper, Carrie gets an exciting new job, but her stunning beauty soon attracts the wrong kind of attention. And romance is the last thing on her mind when her beloved father finds himself caught up. Let me close the laptop. Caught up in an illegal jewelry business that threatens to destroy them all. I have mixed feelings about this, honestly, and for sure this is going to be like women fiction. Then we have the Tuppenny Child by Glenda Young. I love the cover. I usually don't like covers with people on them, but I am liking this one for a change. The synopsis: she's not worth more than tuppence, that child. Those are the words that haunt Sadie Linthorpe. She is the talk of Rio when she arrives there, aged 17, alone, seeking work and a home in the Pit Village. But Sadie is keeping a secret. She is searching for her baby girl who was taken from her at birth a year ago and cruelly sold by the child's grandmother. All that Sadie knows about the family who took her daughter is that they live in Rio, and the only thing she knows about her daughter is that when the baby was born, she had a birthmark on one shoulder that resembled a tiny ladybird. But as Sadie's quest begins, a visitor from her past appears, one who could jeopardize the life she's beginning to build and ruin her chances of finding her beloved child forever. I honestly haven't read anything like this, so I'm excited to read this one. But not crazy excited, but putting it in the women fiction pile for now. I told you we have a lot of winter and Christmassy sort of books this time. See? We're gonna talk about these two books. This one is Christmas at the Ragdoll Orphanage, and this is by Susan Lambert. So the synopsis goes by: the 2-week-old Susan was left at the door of Nazareth House Orphanage, abandoned by the very people who should have given her the love, protection and care she desperately needed. So when Nancy, the orphanage nanny, held Susan in her arms and looked into her eyes, feeling a magical bond, it seemed that a guardian angel had brought them both together. Yet, their future looked uncertain. Would Nancy ever be allowed to adopt tiny Susan? And could their love endure all that the years ahead were to send them? Tear-jerking and unforgettable, Nancy and Susan's true story is about the struggles and joys of parenthood and childhood. It's also about how, for an orphan, having somewhere to call home and a loving mother waiting there makes every day feel like Christmas. Now this is very sweet. Really very, very sweet. And I'm looking forward to it, and I feel I'm gonna cry while reading this book. I have a feeling. The next is Christmas at Tiffany's by Karen Swan. Again, a really pretty cover, and it has that embossed theme. 3 cities, 3 seasons, 1 chance to find the life that fits. Cassie settled down too young, marrying her first serious boyfriend. Now 10 years later, she is betrayed and broken. With a marriage in tatters and no career or home of her own, she needs to work out where she belongs in the world and who she really is. So begins a year-long trial as Cassie leaves her sheltered life in rural Scotland to stay with each of her best friends in the most glamorous cities in the world: New York, Paris, and London. Exchanging grouse moor and moussy hair for low-carb diets and high-end highlights, Cassie tries on each city for size as she attempts to track down the life she was supposed to have been leading, and with it, the man who was supposed to love her all along. Again, a women fiction. I am excited about this one. So let's see. Then I have Tall, Dark and Irresistible by Carol Mortimer. I feel it's a romance or a mystery book by the look and feel of it. Reading the synopsis: Society Lady. Society gossip has kept Lady Juliet Boyd out of the public eye since the suspicious death of her husband, until she accepts an invitation to a summer house party, where she meets scandalous Sebastian St. Clair, who makes her feel things she's never experienced before. Juliet finds his lovemaking irresistible, but does he really want her, or just the truth behind the rumors? Scandalous marriage. Okay, so I think it has 2 stories in this one. Yeah, it has 2 stories in this one because it says 2 fabulous novels from international best-selling authors. The first one was Society Lady. The second is Scandalous Marriage. Darius Winter, Duke of Caroline, is marrying Lady Arabella St. Clair. Dark and dangerous, Darius has a reputation riddled with unsavory humor, while Arabella is headstrong and feisty, yet more innocent than she'll ever admit. Sinister whispers surround Darius. But one thing certain, after the compromising situation that led to this wedding, Arabella will soon discover the pleasures of the marriage bed. It's not something of my type, honestly. I usually do not read these type of romances. Usually, we'll see about it. Not like on top of my priority to read list. That's the thing with this one. The next book is The Dark Horse by Tammy Hogg. Elena Estes has always been a risk taker, but it cost her everything: her confidence, her career, and most importantly, the life of a fellow cop. Now in In Florida, Elena wants to be left alone. Then a visitor comes calling. 12-year-old Molly Seabright needs help. Her older stepsister, Erin, hasn't been seen for several days, and Molly seems to be the only person who's concerned. Erin works as a groom at the Wellington showgrounds, and although Elena doesn't even have a private investigator's license, Molly persuades her to visit the showgrounds. Elena discovers the dark side of glamorous sport, a world of crooked horse dealers, drugs, and payoffs, where anything can be had for a price, and in that world stalks a killer. I feel like I'm in a heaven of good and interesting thriller books, and I'm happy. I'm just happy with this box, apart from like few things. Then we have The 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. It says 1 luxury retreat in the middle of nowhere, 10 days in which no one can leave, 9 strangers seeking perfection, and each discovering the perfect lie. And it's good enough to get you excited and interested, and it has some really good reviews, sort of a thing, from Sunday Times, Grazia, Guardian. So yeah, we are good. We are good. Quickly moving forward, we have Monday Morning by Kathy Reeds. So I also got another book from this author in my last mystery box. That was Crossbones. I haven't read that yet, but I have heard good things about this author, so I'm excited to read both the books. If you have read, please let me know. This one, the synopsis for this one goes like: the building is old with a colorful past, and homicide detective Lou Claudel dismisses the remains as historic. Not his case, not his concern. But forensic anthropologist Tempe Brennan has her doubts. Something about the bones of these 3 young women suggests a different message: murder, a cold case, but Claudel's case nonetheless. Brennan is in Montreal to testify as an expert witness at a trial. Digging up more bones was not on her agenda. And to make matters worse, her sometime lover detective Andrew Ryan disappears just as Tempe is beginning to trust him. Soon Tempe finds herself drawn ever deeper into a web of evil from which there may be no escape. 3 women have disappeared, never to return, and Tempe may be next. I was not expecting the last line. I am happy as a kid in a chocolate factory, you know. Then we have The Heiress by Kathy Gillen Thacker. I feel myself fumbling when it comes to name pronunciations a lot, and I'm very sorry about that. I apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart if I'm taking the names wrong. The summary. Jack Granger, a lawyer to the Devereux shipping empire, knew heiress Daisy Templeton had become a driven young woman with a mission to find her roots. Within an unforgiving world of wealth, deception, and depravity, he watched as she unlocked the past and discovered her true identity. A secret that had been kept hidden from her for years, a scandal that could tear the Devereux family apart. Now, despite the paparazzi dogging their every move, Jack and Daisy had found each other without pretense or promises. But at what cost would they seek a future? And I feel it's a romance book. I have a feeling. I'm not opening the Goodreads because, and again, I am 50-50 with this book. Then we have The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, and it's a very cute cover. And the card says love. So cute. Addie and her sister are on an epic road trip to a friend's wedding in rural Scotland, but not long after setting off, a car slams into theirs. The driver is none other than Addie's ex, who she hasn't seen since their traumatic breakup 2 years earlier. Dylan and his best mate are heading to the wedding too. So Addie has no choice but to offer them a ride. And with 400 miles to go, they can't avoid confronting the very messy history of their relationship. Will they make it to the wedding? And more importantly, is this really the end of the road for Addie and Dylan? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Now we have this, The One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serrell. Again, a very pretty cover. And it has sold 1 million copies in 5 years. The synopsis goes as when Katie's mother dies, she's left reeling from the loss. Carol had been her best friend, her anchor, and they'd been so close to their dream of traveling to Positano together. Feeling untethered from her own life and unable to connect with anyone, Katie makes a rash decision. In a bid to keep her mother close, she follows in a young Carol's footsteps, flying to Italy alone. Katie had imagined a holiday painted by grief but finds more comfort than she had expected. Then, in a sharp twist of fate, Carol's past and Katie's present collide, leaving Katie to wonder if she ever really knew her mother at all. I actually felt very sweet when it said, that she had imagined a holiday painted with grief but finds more comfort, and then the sudden change in the ending of the book. So I'm looking forward to this one. Obviously it's a women fiction going here. Then we have House Rules by Jodie Picoult. And the Sunday Express says that it's an emotional roller coaster. Emma Hunt has spent 15 years raising her 2 sons, Theo and Jacob, on her own, and has created what she sees to be a happy and stable life for them. Despite the challenges of Jacob's Asperger's syndrome. I need to check on that. What's that? I don't know, sorry. Jacob's behavior has sometimes frustrated Emma, but she has never doubted her son's good heart. Yet when his tutor is found dead, suspicion begins to surround Jacob and the Hunt family, who have never quite fitted into the community. Now, as more and more evidence links Jacob to the crime, Emma is determined to prove her son's innocence. Can she believe in it? I actually thought, when I started reading the synopsis, I thought it's going to be a sweet sort of read, women fiction, and it turned out to be a thriller. Crazy. The next book that we have is by Sophie Kinsella, who's writing as Madeline Wickham, and the book's name is The Gatecrasher. Fleur Daxini is beautiful, unscrupulous, and has a large wardrobe of black designer suits. With the help of the Times announcements page, she gatecrashes the funerals and memorial services of the wealthy, preying on rich, vulnerable men. She charms her way into their lives and onto their platinum credit cards, takes what she can, and then moves swiftly on. When Richard Favor, a dull but wealthy businessman, meets Fleur at his wife's memorial service, he's bowled over. Gradually, Fleur works her spell on Richard's reserved and stilted family, transforming their lives while she moves in on their wealth. She finds herself lingering longer than she meant to, becoming involved in the family. But as Fleur rifles through Richard's files, it becomes clear that she is not the only one after his money. Okay. Should we keep it in romance or thriller? Not sure. And I'm not checking it. We have a lot more books to go. Then we have a Winter Baby for Gin Barrel Lane. And this is by Lindsay Hutchinson. See, I told you I'm bad with pronouncing names. Join the Queen of Black Country sagas for another gritty, heartwarming tale. It's a world of friendship but also violence and poverty. Now Dolly Perkins runs the Daydream Gin Palace. She can control her own destiny. But when she and Jack Larkin take on a new pub, they are shocked to discover that a foul smell is coming from a body hidden in a wall. As the police hunt for their suspect, rumors abound, spread by the local urchins desperate for a little bit of food and a coin or two. And as the harsh winter covers everything in snow, Dolly and Jack have to fight for the lives they've made and for the urchins they think of as family. While the arrival of a new baby on Gin Barrel Lane bring new hope, or will the thaw uncover new secrets? I am processing it, but I have a feeling I might like it. Then we have Broken Promise by Linwood Barclay. When single parent David Howard loses his job and moves from Boston back to his childhood home of Promise Falls, he's not expecting anything very exciting to happen. But when he goes to see his cousin Marla, still not quite right after losing her baby, he finds something he definitely wasn't counting on. Marla is caring for a new baby she says was given to her by an angel. But when David tries to find the real mother, he discovers a grisly murder scene. To save Marla from a jail sentence which could finally destroy her sanity, David realizes that he must dig beneath the familiar surface of Promise Falls. Soon he uncovers a place he never knew, a town of twisted minds and even darker deeds, with an awful secret at its heart. I am really happy with this box. Trust me guys, you've done a great job if you're watching this video. Then we have The President is Missing by Bill Clinton and James Patton. The president is missing, the world is in shock. Terrorists are planning a devastating attack and they have help from traitors inside the White House. The only thing standing in their way is a president determined to save his people, even if it means putting himself in mortal danger. This short synopsis is good enough, even like the title was good enough to get me home. Then we have The Campbell Road Girls by Kay Breland, and the synopsis goes by Lucy Keever has come back from service in the country to London's notorious Campbell Road. She's there to care for her mum, the forthright and feisty Matilda, who is recovering from a savage attack, almost left her for dead. Lucy is lucky to find employment as a lady's maid, but when she is unfairly dismissed, Lucy is forced to take a job in a seedy nightclub, something nice girls just don't do. Meanwhile, for Kathy and Jennifer Finch up the road, their father Eddie's criminal dealings are about to land them in hot water. Lucy is soon caught up in London's criminal underbelly, but can she trust the handsome stranger who offers her protection? Because when times are tough, some people will do anything to get by. And I feel this is going to be a women fiction. Last four books. Okay, so this one is The Bancroft Strategy by Robert Ludlum. Agent Todd Belknap has been cut loose after an operation goes wrong. When his best friend and fellow agent is abducted and the government refuses to help, Todd takes matters into his own hands. Meanwhile, Andrea Newton gets an unexpected call. She has been left a vast inheritance by a cousin she's never met. On the condition that she joins the board of the charitable Newton Foundation, Andrea is intrigued, but the foundation appears less and less benign the more deeply involved she gets. What exactly is their involvement with the Genesis, a mysterious group working to destabilize the geopolitical balance at the risk of millions of lives. As events escalate, Todd and Andrea must form an uneasy alliance if they are to uncover the truth before it's too late. Then we have The Blind Man of Sevier by Robert Wilson. The man is bound, gagged, and dead in front of his television. The terrible self-inflicted wounds tell of his violent struggle to avoid some unseen horror. But what could make a man do that to himself? It's Easter week in Sevilla and a time of passion and processions. But Detective Javier, my Spanish is coming out, Falcon is not celebrating. Appalled by the victim's staring eyes, he is inexorably drawn into this disturbing, mystifying case. And when the investigation into the dead man's life sends Javier trawling through his own past and into the shocking journals of his late father, a famous artist, his unreliable memory begins to churn. Then there are more killings, and Falcon finds himself pushed to the edge of a terrifying truth. I would have never come across these books otherwise. The next book that we have is You've Been Warned and by James Patterson and Howard Rogan. I have another book by James Patterson. Yeah, it's 50-50 and it was again from a mystery box. I'm yet to read that. We'll get there. You've been nice, very nice. Kristen Burns has lived her life by the philosophy, don't think, just shoot. Pictures, that is. Struggling to make ends meet, she works full-time as the nanny for the fabulously wealthy Turnbull family, looking after their 2 children and waiting for her life as a New York fashion photographer to begin. When her photographs are being considered at an elite Manhattan art gallery, it seems she might finally get the chance that will start her career. You've been naughty, very naughty. But Kristen has a major distraction: forbidden love. The man of her dreams is almost hers for keeps. Breathless with an inexhaustible passion and the excitement of being within reach of everything she wants, Kristen ignores all signs of catastrophe brewing. Now you've been warned. Fear exists for a reason, and Kristen can only dismiss the warnings for so long, searching desperately for the truth through the lens of a camera. She can only hope that it's not too late. This novel of psychological suspense is a stunning new achievement for the man the Sunday Telegraph called the master of the suspense genre. And the last book that we have is The Cottage of New Beginnings by Susan Snow, and it's again a very pretty, lovely cover. And it goes like: one crumbling cottage, one broken heart, a chance to start over. When Annie returns to Thorndale, the village where she spent much of her childhood, she's looking for a new start. All she wants to do is fix up the cottage her godmother left her and mend her bruised heart. But when she clashes with local hero John, Annie wonders if she's made a mistake returning to Thorndale. The last thing she needs is more drama. Yet the village seems to be conspiring to throw her and the distractingly handsome John together. Annie is looking for a new beginning with zero romance. But what if the only way to learn to trust again is to take a risk on love? And we are done. We are done. But my honest opinion, this mystery box was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. It has given me so many good books to read, and I'm honestly excited. I have been in a reading slump recently, and it's like not a reading slump, but like I have been dragging very slowly through my books that I'm reading. But now I'm excited. I might pull out 1 or 2 books from this pile. And yeah, if you have read any of these, please let me know. If you have read any other works from any of these authors, please let me know, because that also helps in some way. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss any of my content in the future. And I promise this time, you should take the responsibility to comment down, like if I'm missing in action, please comment down, or message that where the hell are you. Please take that, put that pressure on me. And yeah, that was pretty much it for today's video, and I'm gonna see you next week with another video. And I hope that you guys are going to like this journey with me, wherein we create a better life for ourselves in every way possible. And I'm trying to do a lot of things recently that are helping me out in a lot of ways, and I plan to share about those things on my YouTube channel here. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yes, ciao for the day. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.